So good morning, day 5. I'm sorry if I don't sound too enthusiastic. I am really going to Kennedy Space Centre, so it's the first trip out of the resort. There's some buses in the car park. Now I know where all the Disney buses line up before the morning starts. I'm very tired, so I look a bit lethargic, that's why. So I'm hiking over to Music, which is where I'm going to get the coach from, to Kennedy Space Centre. Tomorrow is a rest day. Should be Typhoon Lagoon. I'm going to need that. Tuesday is Universal, so that tends to be ride after ride after ride. So I'm going to recover on Monday and gear up for Universal. But today is Kennedy Space Centre. I'm not sure how much footage I'll get. Might be a low footage day. I'm really looking forward to it, but I will be asleep on that coach. I'm going to go on the bus tour. I've been advised it's very good. They have their own Scooby van. Funny. big. This place is pretty amazing. Glad I came after years of not coming. One thing I would recommend is if you go on the tour, sit on the right side of the bus. The amount of times that woman says, and on the right side you can see. So yeah, sit on the right side of the bus. But other than that, excellent. That building over there is where they assemble stuff. So yeah, I thought the building where they built the nuclear submarines was big. That place is massive. Regretfully I can't go in that one though I did get to go into the ones for the nuclear subs. Could have got a better look if I was on the right side of the bus. I've had something to eat. It was typical counter service stuff, you know, nothing special. I'm dying inside though, I am literally knackered. I went to see an IMAX show and I fell asleep for half of it. But yeah, I'm really tired. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go and have a look at the rocket field, and it is very, very warm. So let's see what this rocket feels like. So I'm back in the room, it's about 10 o'clock. I've been back since about 8. As you may have guessed from the odd comment throughout the day, it's been a very tiring day. I was very tired last night and I got a good night's sleep, but I was still quite tired this morning. But you know, I went to Kennedy Space Centre and I really enjoyed it. It hinges on two key attractions really, Kennedy Space Centre. The tour, the bus tour, which drives you out to the actual places where they, you know, the control centre, and they actually launch the rockets and things. The actual Space Centre itself rather than the tourist section, so that's great. And you also get to see the exhibition around the Saturn rocket on the bus tour, so certainly do the bus tour. The other must-do thing is the whole Atlantis building stroke section. So what I didn't know, just shows how ignorant I was before I went, is they actually have the Atlantis shuttle there, and the whole presentation around that and how they frame it and the building and the exhibition. You know, it's like a museum sort of thing, as you can imagine, half entertainment, half museum. And it's amazing. I suspect the Atlantis shuttle and the way they presented it and built up to it and the exhibition around it will be one of the most interesting and amazing things I'll see on this holiday. So I'd recommend you go to Kennedy Space Centre, do the bus tour, do the whole Atlantis section. That's maybe about half a day. And then there's a whole load of surround activities, which are perfectly fine, there's nothing wrong with them. But the big ticket events are definitely the tour and Atlantis. So, you know, the surround events are like IMAX movies, there's some stuff on the mission to Mars and things like that. And you could probably it could probably take you more than a day to see it all, maybe a day and a half. But I suspect you don't really have to see it all. I mean, I didn't. And I was satisfied with the tour and the Atlantis bit. My fatigue started kicking in and I was only half-heartedly seeing the rest of the stuff, and it was still perfectly enjoyable. That was absolutely fantastic. The journey home was eventful. It started chucking it down, and I really mean chucking it down. I mean the how would I describe it? The bus driver's window was pretty much like, you know, the top of his roof was a waterfall and it was cascading off the top of the waterfall over his windscreen. It was that bad. So it took us about 3 hours to get back, when it should have took maybe half that. So, one, just the rain. Two, the traffic, because there'd been a couple of accidents. We've seen a couple, you know, shunts, and then the driver seemed to suggest there'd been an accident where people had died and stuff, and that was holding up the traffic. And also he managed to get his bus trapped in the toll gates for the first hotel he was dropping off at. So it looked like a close fit when he tried to get in. He was trying to do, I must admit, he was trying to do some of the guests a favour so they didn't have to walk in the torrential rain, but he ended up getting us stuck in the toll gates for that hotel for like half an hour. He did some small damage to his bus. You know, he was calm and everything, but yeah, I mean, it was perfectly fine. You know, I was in no rush. You know, anyway, it woke me up a bit. So tomorrow's a rest day. I had Typhoon Lagoon penciled in, but I'm starting to think I may not even do that. I may sleep in a bit, or whether I'll be asleep's another matter, but not get out of bed. Do the pool here rather than go to Typhoon Lagoon. This is just less hassle. It makes it even more of a rest day. You know, do some blogging, do some pool. If I start getting a bit bored with that towards midday, I might nip out to Disney Springs and eat there, and that gets some Disney Springs off the list. If I'm still looking for things to do, I'm actually still may avoid the parks and do some of the other stuff I've been thinking to do. So there's essentially a way you can walk, I think, from Disney Springs to Port Orleans, I think, so I could do that. I might look at booking Lanuba for a different night, and just do that sort of thing, you know, try and keep it a 0 park day and see how that works. And that's about it, I think. Yeah, not really sure how the footage is working out. I've got some thoughts on the whole vlogging thing. Not necessarily whether I want to keep doing it or not, but more the structure. So I seem to be falling into a halfway house between doing traditional vlogs to camera about a subject in a room, you know, or in a studio, or whatever people want to view it as, and the whole daily vlog thing where people vlog about things they're doing in a more immediate way. I seem to be falling into something that's not one or not the other, and I'm not 100% sure that works, but I'll maybe talk about that more tomorrow, or maybe I'll just leave it and see how it all works out in the edit. But but yeah, so we'll see. I think my main problem is, in order to get the maximum benefit of the vlog, you literally sort of have to talk about everything as you do it, or as you see it, or as you think about it, and I'm not necessarily up to vlogging out in the open in that intenser manner. And I think it's also easier with 2 people. All the vlogs I've seen, which were the ones that sort of made me think give it a go, they all involved 2 people. And of course that's easier because what you do is you're filming your own interactions, so yeah, I think that's easier. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble. So tomorrow, rest day. Don't know what footage that'll generate. It may result in a combined day sort of edit, but we'll see. Until then, see you next time.